They say if you can't take the heat, then get rid of the kitchens. Welcome to the Role Players Podcast. You're here with your boy, Mr. B, myself, that's me. And you are here with Philosophical J, the coach, the legend, the role player. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. You know, and you're saying get rid of the kitchens, but I've been chomping at the bit inside the kitchens.
Hey, man, it's a lot of chefs in the kitchen, right?
It sure is, man. The pot is bubbling.
But you know, they're not the only situation that's out here. It was a lot of big news this week, but you know, we're gonna get into that. But we're gonna go ahead, dig right into this headline topic for the episode. So I was talking with Jay this week, and you know, last week was the big Brown debacle, the big turd, because they laid one. They played the Broncos, which the Broncos, they just have not looked the part this season. And Jay and I had been saying, you know, I think that the Browns are going to lose to the Broncos. And then that's going to really start this trickle-down effect. And me and him been on the same page. So we're bringing this to you all tonight because, or whenever you're listening to it, we're bringing this to you because we've come to the theory, the idea, the hypothesis, you might say, that the Browns players, because it's not just Freddie Kitchens. The Browns players are ruined. Their careers are ruined, ladies and gentlemen. It's done. It's over. I'm talking Baker Mayfield. I'm talking Jarvis Landry, Myles Garrett even, and yeah, even Odell. It's done. The highlight of their careers are down the drain. Jay, am I speaking crazy up here or what?
Well, you're not speaking crazy. What's so crazy is that everything I talked about in the summer and leading up to the football season is actually becoming more to light.
Full circle, man.
It's full circle.
Yeah.
So there was a report that surfaced yesterday that during the off season, before the off season really begins, it is a possibility that Odell can be traded. They said that they are open to trade him because it is not turning out the way they thought it would turn out. And it's been a train wreck. And what is so baffling about the situation is I can't say it's Kitchens' fault.
You can't.
No, because I'm a firm believer in, you know, I talk about this all the time because I am a coach. And the first thing I always say is every head coaching job is not always the job for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're just a fall guy until you're keeping the seat warm until the guy who they really want is available, or the guy or somebody else is a better fit for the job. And that's how I feel that Kitchens is. But right now, do you fire him? Because if you fire him, and if Baker Mayfield is your guy, do you really want him to be in his fourth coach in 2 years?
Yeah. So let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and say it. Baker is done. Baker man.
Absolutely.
It's over. If Baker Mayfield was any other person other than Baker Mayfield, I mean, for the heck of it, he picked on Daniel Jones so bad, right?
He did.
And they're not even playing the Giants. If I'm not correct.
No, what's the Giants are 1-7, I believe.
Yeah, I believe they won one.
Yeah, the Giants are better than them.
The Giants are a better team than them.
And Odell
they just don't have the win.
Yeah, they don't have the wins. They're a young team.
Because the Giants don't have the talent either. If they had the talent of Cleveland, they would be winning. But he went after Daniel Jones. If he was Daniel Jones, we'd be talking about, do they need to take another quarterback this upcoming year?
Absolutely.
Baker Mayfield has been terrible.
He's back. He regressed this season totally.
Yeah, and the thing is, has he ever progressed?
No, because I was just finna say that. It could be. Some can look at it and say, he just came in as a backup quarterback, won a couple games, and never was ready to be a starter. So I am to Baker Mayfield. I mean, the only thing that's worth saving on this team is Chubb and maybe Kareem Hunt. But Kareem Hunt is fighting to make a statement in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry is...
He's done.
He's done pretty much.
He's done, man. I think the saving grace for Odell and Jarvis Landry is the Patriot treatment. And what I mean by the Patriot treatment is you land on some contender, because the Patriots are a contender, but how long will they be contenders? Because Odell contract goes to 2024. It goes to 2024. So if they get the Patriot treatment and land with a contender, that may give them the flame that they need back in their careers. But if they don't get that, if they get shopped around to some of these mediocre teams, I'm a Jaguars fan. If Odell or Landry touch foot in Jacksonville, it's over.
Yeah, I know. I got a perfect spot for Odell. Perfect spot. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, roll it out.
Jamal, if you're listening, the Raiders.
The black hole don't want no parts of that. After going through what they went through with AB, I think they're gonna hold their cards close to the chest.
Why?
From now on, because that whole AB thing.
They're overachieving.
Oh no, man, they're playing good ball, and I mean they're catching some breaks. Because I promise you, man, Phillip Rivers must have had the Raiders in fantasy or something, because the guy gave them the game.
Man, he's done, man.
He gave him the game. That whole 2-minute drive, I was like, how did this even transpire?
This is the problem, man.
I mean, not even a 2-minute drive, just trying to get down in field goal range.
And that's kind of the problem with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, see, this era of football is the guys like the Tom Brady's, the Matt Ryans, the Matthew Staffords, the Phillip Rivers.
The good guys.
Those guys are done in the NFL. Because it's not because they can't be effective.
They're towards the end of their careers, and the game has changed.
The game has changed because the lines are so atrocious.
Yeah.
So the days of having 2 set linemen on the edges, 2 tackles, and then your guards be still in your center, be the mainstay of the offense, that's done. Because
you have to be able to move a little bit.
You got to be able to move a little bit. So Baker Mayfield is a mobile quarterback, which that fits into today's game. But he refuses to read through his progressions.
I mean, is there really a difference between Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel at this point?
No, he is Johnny Manziel.
He's Johnny Manziel.
But Johnny Manziel was
just shut up.
Yeah, Manziel. No. Baker. Manziel was actually a good citizen at Cleveland. It was the off the field stuff that was
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But Baker really don't have. Off the field, he is more on the field. He won't be quiet. He always has something to say. So the only reason that they didn't keep Manziel that long, because wasn't he picked 19th or 20th or something? He wasn't a top 5 pick.
No, he wasn't top 5.
That's the only thing that saved him. So Baker, they reached with Baker like I said they would, and I said Baker wouldn't last 3 years in Cleveland because they mismanaged. I mean, this is just a poorly run organization. And who would have ever thought, man, that the Baltimore Ravens, that the Cleveland Browns would have left Cleveland and became the Baltimore Ravens, and then they became a historic franchise who take care of their players, who do things right.
So maybe it's just the city. Maybe it's
just the city.
Maybe it's the ownership. Maybe, I don't know, man, because
this is not the original Cleveland Browns, but they still have the dysfunction of the Cleveland Browns.
So I want to take a look at these players that I'm saying are ruined, but because I'm not saying that these guys won't have good years. I don't want anyone to think that, but these guys' years will go for nothing. And I know everyone doesn't win a Super Bowl ring, but some guys have a hell of a career to where you say, hey, he didn't get a ring, but he played in a lot of playoff games or whatever it may be. Steve Smith never got a Super Bowl ring, but that's one guy where I could say he had a legendary career. And if you debate it, then you just don't know football. So these guys, here we go. Odell Beckham. He has a cap hit of $17 million. He's on contract till 2024, man. 2024. Now, Odell, right now, in his prime, if you add 5 more years onto this guy, is he still that legendary receiver? I doubt it. And it's not like they can just move him easily. And to clarify this, if they move a lot of these guys, they're going to have dead money on the cap, meaning it's going to count towards their salary cap. So if they let these guys go, all they can do is build from the drafts. They don't have many opportunities. So we got Odell sitting at the top of the mountain. Olivia Vernon.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next richest guy on the team.
He's actually having a pretty decent season.
Yeah, he's having a decent season, but he's no spring chicken, and his years are going to waste.
Yeah.
They're going to waste, man.
For what it's worth.
Jarvis Landry, another one. Years going to waste.
Jarvis Landry is done, man. I don't see him. He's maybe a number 3 wide receiver, but most teams have number 3 wide receivers. They're slot guys, so he's really not a slot guy.
Myles Garrett, if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the league in sacks.
He is. He's also leading the league in personal fouls.
Well, I mean, it's Cleveland, man. There's no law in Cleveland. Not when you're in the kitchens. But Myles Garrett is going to waste a lot of his years. Now, luckily for him, he's at a position where, he get into his 30s. He can still go somewhere. He can be someone's Calais Campbell.
He's still on his rookie deal, though, correct?
I do not believe so. I don't believe so, man.
How not? Last year was just his second year in the league.
That was not his second year. You sure about that? It may have been. It may have. Well, once you get into your what is it, like your 3rd year or whatever, you can get a contract extension because he's on the books for 4 years, $30 million. I don't think that's really a rookie contract at that value. But I mean, Jay's looking it up.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2017.
Well, they may have added some more money.
A fully 4-year guarantee. He was a number 1 draft pick.
Well, he was the number 1 pick. So I guess he could have that $30 million.
Yeah, the $30 million. That's correct.
Because Baker has a big price tag as well. Because if they cut Baker, he's gonna go towards, I think, $30+ million of dead money on the cap. So the point is, man, these guys are gonna either rot in Cleveland or they're gonna have to take some deal from another team and get rid of these guys, and they're gonna send these guys to a hopeful, like the Jaguars or the Atlanta Falcons, or what's another team, Jay, where it's just, if we get this one guy, we can straighten up and fly right. Washington always finds a way to get in the mix of guys like this.
Well, I mean,
you're not going to do anything in your career, and we're going to watch some of this generation's best players, because I'll give it up to Odell. He's one of the best players of this generation of football.
Yeah, he needs.
We'll never see it.
You can't say he needs to play with a top tier quarterback, because if he can't learn something from Eli Manning, then he's not really coachable. Just to be honest with you, I mean, like I said, man, if you can't learn something, if you can't learn how to be a professional from any Manning, then you're not really coachable. So maybe the professionalism will get with him if he gets with, say, and I'm just far fetching, reaching, maybe a Julio Jones, or maybe he needs a big time wide receiver coach on his staff or something. But I say it time and time again, man, and you might not like what I'm gonna say. Star wide receivers are not important in this league. It's not important, and it's not essential for you to be a winning team. It's about you being a professional and how you carry yourself.
It's about production.
And it's about production, because I see time and time again, and I'm sitting there last night watching some of watching some of the highlights, watching some of the who's going to be hot going down the stretch in the NFL. And the top two names I see is, will anybody take a chance on Antonio Brown going down the stretch? What can Josh Gordon bring to the Seattle Seahawks? And then I see, does Dez Bryant have anything left in the tank? And he's working out. And these are three guys who 3 years ago you wouldn't have thought that they're really essentially
gone
on the street in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're kind of homeless. And Josh Gordon, if you're listening, like I said, star wide receivers. If it don't work out in Seattle, my friend, you're done.
No, it is done.
It's done. So
it is done.
So that's why I say, you know,
you're not gonna land with Belichick and then Pete Carroll and not make it.
So that's why I say, you know, Odell is he's treading lightly. That's why Jarvis Landry is done, because he brings a lot of bark, but he doesn't have production on his side, because wherever he goes, let's just call it what they say, they lose.
Yeah.
So Odell,
he's not a difference maker.
You're treading lightly, my friend. I hope you're listening to this. Please be careful, because you're not causing problems on the field per se, but you have that persona that I have to have the ball and I have to do this. And I'm letting you know, man, in this NFL that we're in, you can win without star wide receivers.
Yeah,
everyone does it. So you need to figure out in the offseason, he has to figure out what he's going to be.
Yeah.
Because if he continue to be what he is, and I haven't heard him being a problem in the locker room, but I have heard that he's kind of wanting things his way, things like that. But man, you got a lot of talent. It'll go to waste.
Yeah, but just look at some of the previous Super Bowl winners. I mean, the Patriots, Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have the Philadelphia Eagles. Aguilar. He wasn't even on that team. Alshon Jeffrey.
Aguilar was on that team.
Oh, he was. He was deep. He was deeper.
But I'm gonna name some names who don't have
Zach
rings. Andre Johnson.
Not a ring at all.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Not a ring at all.
You know, Terrell Owens.
Not a ring.
Dez Bryant.
Not a ring.
I mean, the list goes on and on, the guys. But the guys like the Hines Wards and
Deion
Branch. Jerry Rice was a team player.
You
know what I'm saying? And these are the guys who gets rings.
Yeah, man.
And they're difference makers on the field.
Big time.
And Fitzgerald has never been a prototypical locker room problem. You know what I'm saying? But this guy don't have a ring. Anquan Bolden was kind of a problem younger, but when he spent time with Larry Fitzgerald, in Arizona for that brief time, and then went to Baltimore and learned how to be a professional, then he kind of learned, okay, I got to stop barking so much or I won't last in this league.
All right. So I think we made the point that the Browns players, a lot of their big key players that they've acquired through free agency, the draft, however they have these guys, a lot of them are going to waste their years, including Nick Chubb. Because when Nick Chubb, running backs do not last long. They don't last long at all. So when it's time for his contract to come up, he's going to be done. He's gonna be Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of trade.
He's going to have a lot of trade.
So real quick, can Baker play anywhere but Cleveland?
I was getting to it, man. No, he cannot. He can make a team because he's Baker Mayfield. But can he play anywhere just outright? Nah, man, because you got guys. I know you may laugh at this, but this has been the year of the backup. And you do have guys now like Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew can run circles around Baker Mayfield. Kyle Allen. Circles. Teddy Bridgewater. Circles. I mean, the list goes on, man. You have Matt Schaub. He came in and he actually didn't look bad. You could take a Matt Schaub and be okay. Jacoby Brissett. He's been looking okay. This has been the year of the backups, man. And it's going down. Daniel Jones came into a situation that was like, well, I mean, hey, I guess you still have Fitzpatrick that's out there floating around. Can Baker outplay any of these guys? Can he outplay Blake Bortles? I don't think so.
So I'm just curious. 58.7 completion percentage, 1963 yardage, 7 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, quarterback rating 71.3. That's Baker Mayfield stats. So if you and I haven't done it, but if you go down to NFL and go stat for stat, this guy may be worse than Mitch Trubisky.
Ooh, that's something we need to look at.
I'm finna look that up right now. He may be worse. That's for the season. He may be worse than Mitchell Trubisky right now.
He may be. So, and we all know Mitch Trubisky and probably Joe Flacco are two of the worst quarterbacks this season. So, I have another question for you, Jay.
Oh, man.
I got another question for you before you read that news, that stat. Will they take a quarterback in Cleveland? And if so, what round will it be?
I don't know, because the NFL right now, it's going to be a barrage of quarterbacks being available.
But do they have the money to just go get one of these guys? Because these guys are going to command money.
They have the money because they're going to let Odell go. They're going to trade Odell. They may trade
Jarvis
Landry as well.
Odell is a $17 million cap hit. If they trade Odell, salary cap's gone. The free agents money that they have is gone.
But Odell will not be in Cleveland next year.
Dude.
How much money do they have in cap space right now?
I have to look it up, but this guy cannot just be traded without someone saying, hey, we'll offset that money or something.
He'll be traded. Someone's going to take him.
They're going to have to do a friendly deal. Man, because he just can't move like that. $17 million on the cap.
Yeah.
That means if their cap is at $28 million, they're already down to 9.
Mm-hmm. That just mean they can't. They just mean they can't be active players in free agency.
You can't afford a quarterback in free agency. Not with that money.
They can afford a cheap one.
Who?
Matt Moore.
Nah. I mean,
I'm saying Matt
we're
Moore,
talking about
Matt
that,
Moore.
then,
Matt
sure.
Moore. Matt Moore is an upgrade from what they have in the quarterback room right now.
If we're talking about it from that standpoint, yeah. I mean, sure, you can go and get Matt Moore. I mean,
they can trade for C.J. Beathard. But just think how things could. So real quick before I tell you Mitchell Trubisky stats.
Please
so let's just think how things could have played out. Cleveland tried to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and New England declined to trade because they did not want to trade him to an AFC team.
Yeah.
So they tried to give up 2 or 3. It was 2 ones and a third. So, and Cousins could have ended up in San Fran.
Yeah.
But imagine how things would be different right now in the NFL if Jimmy G would have ended up in Cleveland.
It'd have been big time different.
Cleveland still might be losing though.
But I was about to say it would be big time different, but they would still be a losing team.
They'll be losing.
Because, I mean, I don't have any beef with Jimmy G, but the beef that I do have with his production.
Well, everybody would be saying he's a bust right now.
And Jimmy G is not the quarterback. He's not Tom Brady. You do have to work with Jimmy G. He's not about to go out and just create the offense on his own.
I mean, this guy only started for 15 games.
No. I'm not hating on Jimmy G.
16. He's 14.
I'm not hating on Jimmy G.
I know what you're saying.
But if Jimmy G was under the wing of Freddie Kitchens and that organization, he'd be on his way out.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, they would be saying that Jimmy G is a bust, and Jimmy G being 14-2 as a starter, that would never come up in the conversation.
And, Jimmy G does have that star and rock star appeal. He looked at Aaron Andrews and was like, yeah, baby. He called him baby.
I don't think he did it like that.
I don't think he did it like that either.
I think it was more like, yeah, baby, look what we doing.
Yeah, but he was just dating a porn star this offseason.
But
he's a rock star himself, but you guys are you're grooming Jimmy G out in San Francisco. Nobody's being groomed to be nothing but a douche up in Cleveland.
So real quick, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna share something with you. So of course, I'm a 49er fan. So my wife is kind of clinging to the 49ers. She has been a Cowboy fan during her lifespan.
Oh, how about them Cowboys?
So she's kind of taking on this 49er thing because every
crazy.
Sunday she wants to know what my team is doing because of last season.
Cowboy Nation.
So we had the talks, and I was like, yeah, we'd have been out pretty good last year, maybe not undefeated if our quarterback wouldn't have went down. So Jimmy G comes on doing the interview.
Yeah.
And he's talking. And she was like, man, he looks, what position does he play?
Yeah.
So I said, oh, that's a quarterback. She said, oh, that's why you're winning. He looks like a quarterback. Seriously.
Baker doesn't look
She
like
said he
a
looks like a
quarterback.
quarterback. And it's so ironic that Baker Mayfield was going off on one of the reporters, and she was sitting right there watching it with me.
Man.
And she was like, what position does he play? He looks like a backup or something. And I said, that's their quarterback. She was like, oh, that's why they're not winning games. He's not any good. She hasn't seen Baker Mayfield play because, again, the only game she seen him play was against the 49ers. But she didn't know that guy in the helmet was Baker Mayfield.
And the mustache thing, I guess it's a craze now. And I'm not gonna disagree with what she says, because Gardner Minshew, for what it's worth, he looks like a quarterback, but he looks like one of them weird quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, when he had his stash, he still looked like a quarterback. I don't know what the hell Baker was doing.
Baker looks like
he should have kept that thing off of his face. He had on this creeper trench coat. I don't know where Baker came from.
And shaving 3 times at halftime, 2 during the game. He's on the sideline. Instead of looking at photos, he's shaving on the sideline.
I'm gonna let you read this Trubisky stat while I pull up this Baker meme.
Okay, so the Trubisky stat. So what Baker was a 58% pass completion and 71.3 rating, right?
Yeah.
So Trubisky missed how many? 2 games?
Yeah.
2. I don't think it was 3.
I don't know.
So he missed. So we're just gonna round it off at 2. So Trubisky missed 2 games
this season.
Yes, he did. Because
he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Not Chase Daniels.
Yeah, I know you're saying, man. But yeah, go ahead.
So anyway.
But yeah, he missed time.
63% completion. It's not that bad. It's almost 70%.
It's higher than Baker.
That's That's all. That the highest is like 75. That's what the highest is.
Yeah, but that's already beating Baker.
That's already beating Baker. So he's missed 2 games. He's thrown for 1,217 yards. Baker was right at 1,900.
Yeah, he's beating Baker.
5 to 3 touchdown ratio. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. No, he's not throwing them out, but he missed 2 games. Baker had 7 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
13, man. 13.
And his completion, his rating, not his completion percentage, but his QB rating was 80%.
Yeah, man. It's way above Baker. This Baker guy, I'm gonna read this meme to you that I found about Baker
Lord.
during the last week when he had the mustache and the trench coat. A lot of people were saying like he looked like the third bad guy going to get Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. I thought that was great too.
Yeah, he did.
But this one says Baker Mayfield looks like he just said, "I have nothing left, Karen. Just let me see the kids." How spot on is that, man? I don't know if you found humor in that, but you probably found humor and shock in this episode of the Role Players. Thank you for joining us. It's been a heck of a show. You can find this episode and many more on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and home of the Role Players, Spreaker, as well as several other platforms. Don't forget to share us. Don't forget to let the people know we're out here and we're podcasting and we're talking about it. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the big 3. You can also get this on YouTube too for all you YouTubers. Don't miss out on our fantasy league. We haven't talked about it a lot, but we have a lot going on with it. It's a phenomenal year. I love the participation. You guys have been great. Just as great as the listeners. As always, the role players have done their thing. We've conquered, and now we're gone.